Hey y'all, I just want to jump in with a quick inspiration here, insight. This is about transition. So I'm sure many of you at some point in your life have been through a series of transitions. You're in a certain set of circumstances, you don't like it, it's uncomfortable, you're like, like this is overwhelming. I have all this anxiety or doubt or fear about this thing, about this circumstance, right? And if you just pause, if you just sit with it, and I remember back a long time ago, my dad taught me this method. It's the Ben Franklin method, okay? And it's like doing a simple balance sheet. You just look at everything on one side, all the positive. You look at all the stuff that's on the other side, the negative. You look at it together, and you're just like, you're being witness. You're observing what's going on, like factually, intellectually, analytically. And you're like, oh, okay. So over here, I have some positive things. Like I have the skills and I have the patience to get through this circumstance. I just have to focus, right? And on the negative side, you're like, okay, I have some of these things that I got to clear up and take care of, and it's overwhelming. I got a lot of phone calls to make and emails and papers and printing and getting things notarized, etc. I've got to handle these issues. And, even though they're, it's a long list, like it comes back to the positive side, like I can do it, like I have the skills to do it. I just got to breathe through it, right? So then it's like that turning over. When you have that balance sheet of the positive and the negative, it's like you're turning it over to God and you're like, okay, God, this is what I see right now. And I'm now going to turn it over and surrender it to you. And please put in my heart and put in my mind what you want me to see, if I haven't already seen it already. So you're surrendering to the point that you don't know everything. You're getting out of your ego. You're getting out of your, limited mind, and you're turning it over to God's mind. And you're saying, God, give me your good plan. Give me your checklist. Give me your strategy, Lord, because you promised me that you were going to take care of me, that you were going to lead me, that you're going to give me what I needed. And this is the situation. This is the circumstances, Lord. So I'm now turning it over to you. And I'm asking you to get me out of this war zone of all these things, these anxieties, fears, doubts, obstacles that are in front of me. And I'm asking you to show me the straight and narrow pathway through that war zone of all this stuff. How do you want me to get through the other side? So I'm giving the how to God, okay? Now, when God comes back and he gives me the, okay, get on your shoes, grab your bag, and we're going to go right now to this credit union. We're going to get a loan. I'm like, what? Right now? I don't think I'm ready. I have all these negative things over here. Okay. But the bottom line is, just to give a little share of victory for God, I was obedient. Okay. And I listened to that. And then the next thing I know, I got the loan. So what I'm getting at is, it is about having and walking in faith, not always understanding the circumstances of what it looks like in the moment, because in the moment, sometimes it looks so dark and, desperate, and how am I going to get out of this, right? And there's always a way when we're in the Word of God, okay? When we're studying and we're putting in our owner's equity into who God is, and we keep turning over to him what these major life shakeups and circumstances are, trauma, abuse, impact from the collection of years of not doing something God's way, and we start to discern, and we're like, oh my gosh, like I'm so out of alignment. What am I supposed to do? There's such a pile up here, right? And the point is, yes, there's a pile up. We all have a mess of liabilities in our life. And it doesn't just have to be debt. It could be broken relationships. It could be, disorder, that our home is out of order and there's lots of clutter. It could be, health issues, whatever. Okay. So the liabilities that we're experiencing in our life currently in this moment have to do with us not being in the Word of God and the Torah. And when we start to come to understand that, okay, and we position ourselves and we go, God, you got the answers. Help me. Okay. And we do that surrender of that balance sheet of, this is what's positive in my life. This is what's negative in my life. This is where I'm stewing around, looping in my head in anxiety and doubt. And I don't know what I want to do. And I don't know what to do. We have to stop the looping, turn it over to God, and let him teach us. Let him pastor us. Let him counsel us on how to get out of that war zone, to be present to the people, places, and things that he's already lined up as our rescue for us. But we have to be still enough to hear his voice. We need to be in agreement with what his Bible says. And we need to hear the call when he says, go, and to obey. Okay? God's going to watch over you. He truly is. But you got to be in alignment with who he is. And when you're in alignment with who he is, he's going to show you an exit strategy from those circumstances. Now, sometimes that exit strategy is working with another person who understands these concepts more clearly. In case, life coaching, pastoring, counseling, advising, mentoring, all of these tasks that other people do to coach and advise are to help and assist someone when they're stuck. So they get out of their mind that's looping and they get back into action that is going to help them to get out of the negative circumstances of liability and into the owner's equity of receiving the blessings, and to keep reproducing those assets so that that balance sheet comes out profit. Blessings. Have a good day, everybody.